But good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Welcome to Deal. Gets open for three. Dagger!
The kick in, here it comes. Swing and a miss. And a World Series Game 7 winning Curly W is in the books.
Washington Capitals are the 2018 Stanley Cup champions. You like that? You like that? I like that.
You gotta like that, right?
My approval rating is going up.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business.
Welcome in, Defeating the Curse. It's good to see everyone. Stevie, welcome back from your, 2-week absence, I think. Pete from Philly is joining the show here in a few minutes as well. Stevie, we always talk about the Commanders, and I always assume you watched 0% of the game. So what percent of this game against the Dolphins did you watch? I'm just curious. Give me like, I'm going to say 50%. You watched the first half, and then just, that was it.
Come on, man. You got to believe in me a little bit, okay? I watched 100%.
Why this one?
For the Miami Dolphins. Okay, I didn't watch 1 second for the Redskins. I watched 100% for the Dolphins. And you know the other minor miracle, besides me watching a full Commanders game, is Pete joining us on a Philly loss week. You know something big. You know he's coming in hot. Usually he's hiding like 10 feet underground. He's in his bunker after an Eagles performance like Sunday. So
yeah, he's gonna come in. He's gonna come in here and tell us about all the things that the Eagles, why the Eagles are still the best team in the NFL. And I'm just gonna jump out in front of it here and say they're not. And I think even though they've been consistently a top 5 team, and the record still says they belong in the top 5, there's just something weird about that team. And maybe he can help us make sense of it. But the 49, that game, it kind of disappointed in the end, right? I mean, it just got away from them. But I was surprised. I was really surprised. I want just 2 things on the Commanders, and then we'll switch because
I was going to say we have to quit on the Commanders if the players quit themselves.
They quit. I mean, Jonathan Allen wants to go play for other teams. Ron brought in a guy off like some random staff somewhere. I don't even think he was coaching, and then put him in charge of the defense the week after they fired JDR. Ron is actually allergic to work. I mean, this is my official opinion now on Ron Rivera. He's just keeping his seat warm. It's the way it's going to be. Sam Howell is regressing. To me, this is my 2 cents on it. I'm not going to talk about it at nauseum. Everyone's available for trade. If you can get a 3rd rounder for Sam, take it. If you can get a 2nd rounder for Terry, take it. If you can get anything for Duran and Allen, it was nice to have you guys here. But the whole team needs to be burned down. Every need that they had going into last year in the offseason is a need right now. Like that's how bad this team is. That's where they are. Everyone's available. Terry went 0-0-0.
He got a lot of cardio in, is what he said. Listen, I watched the game to watch the Miami Dolphins, which is becoming the greatest show on grass here.
Tyreek is something else, man.
I mean, that was awesome, and they didn't disappoint. But
is he better than Randy Moss?
What the people that know a little bit more about football than me say is that he can run the full route tree.
That's your boy Wes Welker was saying that as the coach. Dolphins Wes Welker was saying it.
Well, and he would know, right? He's comparing guys he played with the guy he coached.
He would know.
But the Commanders quit. They've quit on the season. I quit on them. Congratulations, Dan Snyder. You're the most vindicated man in the world.
You've been waiting all season to say it.
Listen, we can't talk about them because they quit on us.
I don't want to talk about them. I don't want to talk about them. And this is probably the first Sunday all season that they didn't ruin my Sunday because I knew going in. I knew they were going to give up 50 points. I mean, I don't think there's a season that I can recall like where they lost by 30 points this many times. The team's just bad. It's bad all around. It's over. You said it. They quit. I don't know if I'm going to.
Whoever made you feel better, the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, well, you know what? It did make me feel better that Chase basically did nothing in that game as well. Like it's weird. Like I'm not cheering against him, but it's good to see him not going bananas, right? Like it's okay. He's just a guy. He's a Jag, and that's fine. But let's switch gears here. I mean, Pete. We'll bring in Pete here in just a second. But the Eagles started out okay, and Jalen now for 2 weeks or 3 weeks running, I feel like he just starts slow, and he just gets maybe he's taking what the defense gives him early on. I'm not 100% sure, but the team just doesn't like the domination, so to speak, that they are that they perceive themselves to have, right? Like the talking heads talk about, well, they talk about record, they talk about final win margins, but again, not to bring the Commanders back into this, Commanders almost had them beat twice. It's the truth, right? I mean, they almost had them beat twice. That's the reality, right? So 49ers, much better team, of course. The game was close until halfway through the third quarter, Pete, something like that. I don't know. Like it was interesting to see how that game got away so quickly from the Eagles. And I think for me, I'm not an Eagles fan, but that would be the most concerning thing to me, right? Like they were kind of in it, but when it got out of reach, it got out of reach real quick. It went from 0 to 100 real quick. And the 49ers didn't let up. And it wasn't long sustained drives, so to speak. It was Debo going on a 70-yard tear. It was Ayuk going for 30 yards at a clip. It was wheel routes from McCaffrey. They beat him. They beat him hard. So I don't know, Pete. Like, obviously you're a Philly guy through and through. Are you concerned about the Eagles moving forward through the back half of the schedule here?
Gentlemen, always good to be on. Thank you. I am mildly concerned, and here's why.
I didn't think we were going to get that.
No, I'll give you mildly concerned, and I'll tell you why. Because the play calling on offense has not been like it was last year, and that is because we have a new offensive coordinator, Brian Johnson, first-year coordinator. Shane Steichen was our coordinator last year, and he just knew exactly what plays to call when, and our offense was humming. One thing I think that is concerning for me that we need to fix is we have one of the best O-lines in football, if not the best O-line in football, and we don't run the ball. We don't run the ball like we do.
What's been going on here? Like DeAndre Swift started off the season.
He's a great back. He can run the ball, and when we run, we win easier than we have been winning. But you can't get down 10, 14 points in the first half, third quarter, and have time to run the ball. And so the offensive play calling has been concerning. The other concern we have, which we knew was a concern with a team like San Francisco, is our linebackers suck. They were also hurt.
Don't talk to me about linebackers sucking.
Listen, I can't tell you who played linebacker.
You want Cody Barton?
The guys were. He might have played yesterday, and I couldn't even tell you. Okay, because our linebackers were, number one, they were hurt yesterday. They're otherwise not. They're not that. No, listen.
Let him go through his.
Everyone's hurt.
Man, how long are we going to listen to this?
San Francisco lost 3 games in a row to some garbage teams because one guy wasn't playing or 2 guys weren't playing. Okay, Trent Williams and Debo didn't play, and they got beat by Cleveland. Okay, the Cleveland Browns, who don't even have a quarterback. So let's just
but they do have they have a top 3 defense.
Well, they maybe not anymore. But my point is, it's concerning to me that the play calling is not as good as it was last year. However, caveat, our schedule this year is much more difficult than it was last year. Mm-hmm. Our opponents are better. So while we're winning the following 5 games in a row, ready? Home Miami, at your squad, home Dallas, at Kansas City, home Buffalo, and San Francisco. And we went 5-1 in that 6-game stretch. If you would have told me of those 6 opponents in a row, we'd be 5-1, I would take that all the way to the bank and then on Sunday. So I'm okay with the loss, not how bad we lost, but I understand why we lost that bad. The other thing is this, and don't underestimate this. This was like the 49ers Super Bowl for them because they were so mad. Listen, and here's what I'll tell you about the game yesterday.
Let him.
The game was close. Okay. The game was close until Debo ran like untouched down the field for 50 yards because that was right after what's his name got thrown out for punching the security guy in the face. Okay, on the sideline.
You're idiots.
Why are the Eagles have security guards on the sideline?
Everyone has security. The coach walks next to the security guy. That's how they do every post game. The guy's always on the field. Every coach.
Do you recall seeing security guys on the?
I see it like Nick Saban has the patrol officer.
He's got the state troopers.
Yeah, that's a little.
College football is a little nutso with that.
I know Steve Austin used to come to the ring with police.
If we would have stopped the Niners on any one of the 4 third downs on the ensuing drive after we scored a touchdown to bring it within 1 score, the game would have ended differently. But our linebackers couldn't play for dog.
I gotta say a couple things.
I want to
Jalen. I think Jalen's actually a liability. I just do.
Compared to whom? Marcus Mariota, our backup quarterback?
Well, no. I mean, listen, he's
until this week he was MVP. He was the leading candidate.
When he has to make a pass, I'm not always confident he's going to be able to make the pass. Right? When you do the tush push and I need 2 yards, it's kind of ballsy to do it from the 2-yard line. I mean, I did enjoy watching that, and okay, fine. Like he can squat a brick building. Fine, great, no problem. I actually don't think he's that good of a quarterback. I just don't. And I think he has extremely talented receivers that make him look better than he
Joe, I think we're missing the forest for the trees here. Okay, because I disagree. Jalen Hurts is a top tier quarterback.
Top what? Top
five.
Five.
But
Give me your five.
He's 5. I would give him 5, but top 5.
Okay, let me think.
Listen. I just want to crush Pete's dreams here a little bit. Yesterday had nothing to do with the Philadelphia Eagles, had everything to do with the San Francisco 49ers. That was a statement game. And I'm
10 days rest, fully healthy, with a cake schedule coming off.
It's you know what? Brock Purdy is not the difference maker, and it wasn't the difference maker in the NFC Championship game. When number 71 is on the left side of that offensive line, they are unstoppable.
I agree with you.
I can't count how many times Christian McCaffrey would run right behind 71 on that left side and just get chunks of yards.
You want a stat for you? When Trent Williams and Deebo Samuel play, they're 9-0. They're undefeated.
That's unbelievable. Trent Williams was not healthy last season, and it was overshadowed by the QB mess that happened in the NFC Championship. But that is the second most important position on the field, and he is the best person at it.
Oh, I know all about it because we got Lane Johnson, who's arguably the best guy.
Nick Bosa took care of Lane Johnson yesterday. Okay.
Yeah, maybe. You got a little bit.
It was a hell of a match.
It was a match on 10 days rest.
What I'm saying is
that.
The San Francisco 49ers, with a healthy Purdy, Trent Williams, Nick Bosa, and Deebo Samuel, are the best team in the NFC. Done.
I don't know about that.
The best team.
I think they just showed
I don't know if they're the best team.
I think they could win against anyone on any day. I don't know if are they the best?
With that defense, forget about Chase Young. With Fred Warner in the middle, that defense, they can, from a talent perspective, from a coaching perspective, from the important positions on the field perspective, have the best team, special teams, defense, offense, in the NFC.
So the 49ers, looking at their schedule, Seahawks, Cardinals, Ravens, and then Commanders and Rams. I mean, they got the Ravens, maybe the last real offensive test, although the Rams are playing pretty good. Well. That's an interesting take, Stevie. I mean, are you saying
better than them, the Lions? Please.
That's hot take read. Okay. Like
I don't know what
lost. Listen, this team still. You want to talk about injuries? This team lost 3 games in a row. When Cleveland, Minnesota, Cincinnati. What are we talking about? And when Cincinnati was horrible. This isn't Cincinnati of last week. This is Cincinnati like they couldn't play. They scored 17 points.
They were ravaged with injuries. Deebo was out.
Purdy played. Kittle played. But again, that game 31-17. Minnesota 22-17. Cleveland 19-17.
Pete, you're too smart for this. The people the teams who win the Super Bowl are not the best teams, they're the hottest teams.
I agree with you.
Start getting hot right now. They run the table.
I think that. Hold on.
Philly is reeling, and from an injury perspective, Jalen Hurts has become a liability. From an injury perspective,
no. Philly is not reeling. We lost 2 games in 13.
No, but you almost lost twice to distinct Commanders.
Almost lose is not lose. Dallas lost to the Cardinals. Okay, they didn't almost lose to the Cardinals. They lost.
Dallas has to be mentioned in this conversation too.
Because Dallas has to be mentioned because I would put money that they're going to hand Philly the second loss in a row next week.
I don't think so. I think that's a bad bet. I think you're going to burn money that way.
I think we get the bet.
If you think Philly's going to go into Dallas next week and do the same performance they had,
are they spotting points?
Yeah, Dallas favored 3 points. I think it's 3. I think it's 3.
You got to put $1 at least. At least.
I don't
like that bet, Stevie.
Especially with you.
Put it down. Listen,
I like that bet.
Look, the Eagles did not play well yesterday. I will give kudos to San Francisco. They did what they had to do.
They're very leaky on
defense. They came in and they made a statement.
All of a sudden, though, teams that can run consistently, especially consistently, like
I'll tell you what I told a buddy of mine who is a San Francisco fan before the game. I said, if Brock Purdy has time to throw, we're going to get killed. Period. That is the whole game in one statement. If Brock Purdy can sit back there and throw the ball and complete passes, we will lose, because that means he got it out fast. We got no pressure, and Debo's going to catch everything over the middle. Ayuk over the middle.
Oh, what I told
and our middle is where we are weakest, because we invested in the D line and in the secondary, and so you can't invest everywhere.
I told my buddy, if Jalen Carter is on the sidelines crying his eyes out, then Philly's going to get whooped. You want to comment on little baby crying?
I didn't see him crying yesterday.
I mean, who the Eagles got? They got Cowboys.
I'll tell you right now.
Cowboys, Seahawks, Giants twice, and Cardinals. I mean, it's a favorable schedule down
of course,
obviously. Yeah.
That's why, again, we're still the number one seed. We still have a game on San Fran, and we're a game up on Dallas until next week.
Well, but San Francisco likely isn't going to lose that many more, right? I mean, we could be in a tie situation here, and obviously they would have the head-to-head tiebreaker. Stevie, I'll give you one team that in the NFC that I think is getting hot, to your point. Like, just riding this super hot.
Give me one hint.
One hint?
Dallas.
Give me a hint.
Don't say Dallas.
No,
I mean, it'll give it away.
Give me a division.
I'm trying to think of a hint that won't give it away.
Falcons.
The team is old.
We already said the Rams.
I mean, that's the Rams. They're super old. Yeah.
Was it the Rams?
Yeah. Rams are heating up. Stafford still got a top 5 arm, just pure strength. He's got receivers that can catch the ball. Cooper Kupp, I know, is not 100%, but he still can catch the ball. They just, I mean, they have any running back you put back there right now. What's his face? Kyron Williams is just pounding people. That's a really good team, and they still can play defense in spots. I think if you're going with the hot, touch kind of methodology, they remind me a lot of the Giants circa.
Who
like,
did they play? They just beat the Seahawks, Cardinals, and Browns. The test is this week against
well,
the Ravens.
just a second ago, you told me don't look at the schedule. It doesn't matter.
No. Schedule. You play the team that's on your schedule.
Okay.
You can't get punished for that. Okay.
I give you that. But you're saying they're the hottest team. They have played 3 trash.
No, I didn't say they're the hottest team. I said they are playing. Like, if you're going hot hand methodology here, they're going to win a lot more games. They're 6-6. From where they started, it's the Broncos too in the AFC, right? You look at the Broncos, they shouldn't be doing what they're doing, or the Colts, another good example of this. These teams are just hot right now. I know the Broncos dropped one this week, but these teams can throw, they can run, and they can play defense, right?
So here's what I'll tell you there.
This is more on the defense.
I was just going to say, Pete, so much of this right now is health.
100%.
And Jalen Hurts.
Jalen's not 100%.
He's not 100%.
I'm saying every week
he's not 100%.
It gets progressively worse. I mean, he had to go out for a couple of series or whatever. He went to the back for the concussion. It didn't look like a concussion, by the way. It looked like something else that he was going to get shot up for. But every single week now, he's looking worse. It's only a matter of time before the dam breaks.
I hear you, and that is a legit concern. But here's what he hasn't been doing, and this is why I don't think we've been playing as well. He's not running the ball. They're not calling, and the design runs they're calling aren't working because we're down so many points.
Why is DeAndre? But they weren't down so many points halfway through the third. Like, why is DeAndre only touching the ball 6 times?
100% agree with you.
Right?
I think that's bad play calling.
Some of this,
run the ball.
Honestly, it's very similar to the comments we make here in DC, right? Like, why
run the ball?
Why run the ball? Exactly. I mean, Ron.
We won last year. We won last year with like 9, 10, 12 play drives, 8, 9 runs in a row, and nobody could stop us. And we didn't have DeAndre Swift last year, right?
Yeah, I mean, but DeAndre has shown even this season, right?
That's what I'm saying. He's better.
And just see what happened.
I just noticed the painting. I've never seen Allen Iverson jump that high behind you. Okay.
Then you didn't watch basketball. I don't know what to tell you. You were too young back then.
I actually just watched
fanboying on Kobe in the 2001 All-Star game.
Well, I could do 45 minutes on the AI Kobe relationship. Like,
I loved AI ever since he broke that dude at that bowling alley with the table or the chair. I loved AI. Okay.
Pound for pound, one of the best players ever.
Not just pound for pound. Who's the harder cover? Allen Iverson or Steph Curry? People forget how good Iverson was.
Steph Curry, it's not the same conversation with him.
The whole league's a joke.
Wait. Yeah, no one's saying Steph here, right? I'm just
no, of course
Iverson played real basketball.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let me tell you, I got into it. We'll switch into basketball here. I know I can talk basketball with Pete. Steve probably hasn't watched the game since Jordan retired, but regardless, I got into it just a couple days ago, actually, with somebody. We were going back and forth about best point guard in like the current era, and they're going to die on the hill of
Chris
Steph
Paul.
Curry and I'm not going to take Chris Paul.
Pure point guard or Steph
whatever
Curry
you want to
point
call it. Just point guard, right? I think just point guard. I think Chris Paul's an interesting one. He's the last kind of like dinosaur model, right?
of a true point guard, 100%.
Russell Westbrook will never get enough credit, I think, for what he did. I mean, the guy averaged a triple-double for like half a decade, and nobody remembers that. But the guy that I kind of landed on was Damian Lillard. I mean, Damian, like, people didn't watch him play basketball in Portland, but the guy can shoot. He can obviously run an offense. I mean, he is just an absolute stud. But he's playing in the shadow of, half of his career in the shadow of Russell Westbrook, the other half now in the shadow of Steph, and Kyrie Irving is another one, right? The flat earthers are, he's the hero of the flat earthers, but
Kyrie was a great point guard.
I mean, I think he still is. I don't know. Like Steph Curry, I know you could argue Steph Curry has changed the game of basketball more than Michael Jordan did. I mean, I think
Steph's not a point guard. He's a two guard.
Well, he was a point guard. He is still a point guard. He plays with the ball in his hand, right?
He doesn't bring the ball up the court. He doesn't bring the no.
Maybe this season. You got to go back and look at like young
Draymond is the point guard.
I don't want to talk about Draymond. I got nothing to say about Draymond Green. I got nothing to say. But Damian Lillard was the guy that I kind of was like, I just kept going back to him. Like he's really good, but no one will ever give him the credit I think he's due.
That's fair. I didn't watch enough Lillard because he played in Portland, just like you said.
Yeah.
Is there a third guy? I see Dr. J.
Yeah. It's Chuck
Barkley?
on the bottom corner. Yeah, Chuck, Wilt, Dr. J, Iverson.
Wait, Wilt?
Yeah, right there in the middle. He's in the middle, right there.
That's right.
He got his first of 2 championships with
Philly's finest over there.
Listen, man. You got to make another poster, put Embiid on there at some point. If he can get out of this, if he can ever go to the second round.
I think we're quite a while.
Yeah. If he can ever get out of the second round, he might make.
Yeah, I don't think he belongs on that poster. Sorry,
not yet.
You think he's going to get on the poster?
This team is actually really good this year. I'm impressed with their team, and I hope they don't make a stupid trade at the deadline.
Trust the process. We're learning that phrase here in DC now.
Trust the 10 years.
Get on basketball?
I don't know. You pointed out the poster. The poster. This is your fault.
Did you watch any of the in-season tournaments, Stevie, with the crazy courts?
No, the only basketball-related thing I saw was at the UFC fight night. Tim Duncan showed up in Austin, Texas.
Yes, he did.
He has never looked happier in his life. I think he got divorced or something, and he's
twice divorced now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Twice.
He looks
I don't know about the first one.
like he is just loving life.
Pop called him in to come meet with the Rook. They did some photo ops. Yeah, with Wemby. I mean, they've won like one game all season.
That's okay though.
I mean,
we'll get the number one pick again.
Stevie, you did see Pop tell the fans to stop booing, right?
No, I mean, nobody loves Greg Popovich more than Greg Popovich. Okay. Amazing.
Like, do you think he was playing mind games with Kawhi as he was shooting a free throw, or was that like his actual position?
He was actually upset. Pop is the guy who's like, he's been around too long, and like no one can tell him to leave. I love the guy, but he's just like, I'm going to do whatever I want. No one can tell me what to do.
I mean,
that's what he is now.
I'll say this to piss off Pete from Philly. I mean, Pop is the total liberal, progressive, thinks he's a victim. Okay. Total, just awful character.
So what do you think about Steve Kerr then?
Oh, no, see, I can't say anything about him because of his story, right?
Steve keeps in his pants a lot, to be honest. I think he, Steve Kerr, that is. I can't, I mean, I think he's
the first one to say stuff. After every tragedy,
but he's also a learned individual, and I think he's got a much.
You say Pop ain't learned? Come on.
Yeah, I'll say that. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Exactly. I don't think that's.
I put him and Joe Biden in the exact same camp. Old guys.
Yeah, Pop is not a learned person.
Yeah, they're
that on the hot take.
Well, look, Pete. I know. We were talking in the green room. I know you didn't want to opine on this, but Mark Cuban is going to stick his finger, I think, into the political world, or maybe jump in with 2 feet here pretty soon. I mean, he's no longer going to be on Shark Tank. He sold the majority stake of the Mavs. Like, the working theory here is that we could see potentially a Cuban Yang challenge on the Dem side. I think that would be an awesome ticket. Like that, I don't roll with Team Blue, but I would at least listen to what they have to say. That would be a very strong ticket.
He's on record saying he's not doing it. He's going on TV saying he's not going to run 20.
I mean, I got sources. We all got ears and eyes. We got gut feelings, right? Well,
the problem with this plan is he's way late in the game, and there are deadlines for getting on ballots and stuff.
Guy, you could announce tomorrow and put together a formidable challenge to sleep.
It's not about the challenge. It's about the mechanics and how late it is in the cycle. In order to get on primary states, in order to get the nomination, you have to meet some deadlines, and he's missing some.
Would you like to see him try?
Would I like to see Mark Cuban try?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Mark Cuban as a politician. All I know is he's a basketball owner.
Okay, that's fair. I
This
mean,
is
we know a
news
little
to
bit
me.
about
I have to poke around a little bit.
He can run a
Right.
business. Stevie, do you care one way or the other?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I mean,
I didn't think so.
I'm curious about these sources Joe has. That's what
I mean,
I'm
Stevie,
more
did you watch
interested in
any of the meatball Ron versus California?
I did. The great blue versus red debate. Okay.
How do you feel about the poop map? How do you feel about the? Talk to me about the poop map.
I mean, you want to talk about who's an assassin. Okay, Sean Hannity. Man, he played the long game with Gavin, man. He brought him in, okay, showed him the love, okay, pretended like they were friends.
Honestly, that was the longest. The 3 minutes I watched was the most Hannity I've consumed since Hannity and Combs was a TV show.
That's 3 minutes too many.
It was a long 3 minutes. I mean, he's tough, man.
He's out there.
Oof.
He's out there.
Oof. Yeah. I don't know if I can. I don't know how much of that I can consume.
I mean, he's got that Fox News crowd on lockdown, man.
Who's still watching Fox News? This came up earlier tonight too. Like, who's still watching Fox these days?
All of our parents. Literally all of our parents.
Okay.
I know any old person in my life.
Look, I was watching Fox News a decade ago. I can't even turn it on now. Like,
I wouldn't broadcast that anymore past this podcast.
I learned what I learned.
Not a good look for you.
I learned what I learned.
It says the guy bashing X. Okay, this guy's bashing the greatest humanitarian of our lifetime. Okay,
I mean, Elon is a fascinating human being. I mean,
you got an icon of him in your house, Stevie, too. I mean, with that line,
would be kind of cool. An icon would be
Elon, gold halo. Come on.
I don't know about gold halo. I think he actually cares about humanity. I think anyone who says he doesn't is maybe. I mean, he's put more money like where his mouth is with regards to.
He clearly doesn't care about money.
He doesn't care about money.
That is obvious.
Right, but he's burning it at the stake right now.
But Stevie,
greater cause.
But I think the big soundbite you alluded to this. I think the way his brain works, I think he does care about doing good, right? We can debate whether whatever he's doing is actually good, but I believe that he believes what he's doing is good, or what he's trying to do is good, right? It's kind of the George W. argument, right? I know, like, W's my guy.
Another thing I wouldn't broadcast.
Colossal. I'm not afraid
to ask the five listeners.
I know he made mistakes, but he believed what he was doing was right, and I think that matters. I think you got to at least try to do something.
A lot of crazy people believe what they were doing was right, Joe. It doesn't make it a great thing all the time.
I know, but
Jeffrey Dahmer thought he was doing was right too.
Okay? I mean, I don't think Bush is as pure as you think, Joe. I think Elon is unequivocal.
Did you see the clip of him walking out during the World Series to throw the first pitch in the bomber jacket?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
the 9/11 World Series, the 2001.
No.
Just now.
I didn't watch any of the
team no one cares about and another team no one cares about.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of that. I watched less of that than you watched of Sean Hannity. Let's put it that way.
Did you punch out on baseball as soon as the Phillies were
100%
eliminated? Really?
I didn't watch 1 minute of the World Series.
See, this is where I don't know.
Why would I watch that? Why would I watch that?
Because for literally for 8 months you were obsessing over baseball, every pitch, everything.
And no. I only obsess over baseball like the last 2 months. I don't watch regular season baseball.
I jumped on my Instagram for a second and I saw Shohei in a Phillies jersey, and I nearly had a heart attack until I read the caption about multiple places he might land.
I mean, it's a good place to land. They have a good team, a good manager. You know,
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him come to DC a couple zillion times a year. Is that bad, Stevie?
For the Nats,
it's bad. I mean, it's bad. Sure, if you're trying to be competitive.
For every hitter that's got to step into a batter's box against him.
How many years are left on Bryce's deal? He's got 4 left.
At least. He was 10 5 years ago. It's great. 10. It's great. He's getting peanuts on the dollar now for what we're paying.
It's only a matter of time until you turn on him too, he's going to turn on the fans, right? He's going to be like, I'm not getting paid what I need to get paid. And the fans are going to crucify him.
He's got a contract. He's got 4 years left on it. At least 4.
Nothing. Sports contracts mean nothing.
Sports contracts mean nothing in basketball and in football. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, James Harden just traded himself again. He has traded himself. He's the best GM he's the best GM ever.
James Harden
Straight and
is a
untradeable
great
contract
GM
4 times.
against his own self-interest as a player because he's cost himself like hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I know we got a hard stop here coming up pretty soon. It's going to be a short one right now, but Pete, we'll let you out on this. The Eagles will win the Super Bowl if what happens?
If we get the number 1 seed and we stay healthy.
Yeah, I see.
You gave 2 things.
If
I
one thing, we stay healthy. That's it.
No, I would say the one thing is they got to lock up the top seed and get that bye.
No, if we get the top seed and Hurts is out for the playoffs, then we're dead. I want health.
That's the answer. Because Philly can go into San Francisco or Detroit
and beat them
and win a game.
Sure.
They need health, which is why Jalen Hurts should.
You know where we're really hurting right now. That's not been talked about enough. Is Dallas Goedert.
Yeah,
our best tight end. He hasn't played in 5 weeks. Broken forearm. He's killing us. We can't run the sets we usually run.
He's not killing
out there.
you. But...
No, his injury is hurting us pretty significantly because it's another option that Hurts doesn't have, and he's an amazing blocker. So then it's an extra blocker for the run game. So there's 100 things that go down when our best tight end gets hurt. Though we did sign Shaq Leonard today, so maybe we get some linebacker help for whatever that's worth.
I'm surprised he actually sat out there as long as he did, and I'm surprised the Commanders didn't sign him because he would have immediately been the best one.
I don't think he would have reported to Ashburn.
I mean, whatever. You got to try something. I mean, Ron literally.
Who's going to report to? Who's waiting for him?
I don't know, Stevie. I don't know.
GM Ron Rivera.
Are you going to watch a minute of football the rest of the way, Stevie?
No, I'll watch Dallas Philly 100%.
Yeah, but no Commanders games. No more.
That game next week is going to tell us a lot about this team. How we come back from loss in Dallas on Dallas week for the top seed in the conference still and the number 1 seed in the division. It's going to
wait. Who are the Commanders playing next week?
Oh my God, does it matter?
No, bye week. Nothing.
They can't lose
by 3.
Yeah, I'll take. They won't give up 30. They won't give up 30.
I mean,
they are so bad.
Games are on Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve.
Yes.
A lot of the NFL games. So who's going to watch those?
We get Sunday.
Because they're both at noon, so they can't flex anywhere else.
We get off this week, Stevie. Then we got Sunday, Saturday, following Sunday.
Oh, your next game is at Rams? Oof.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than the Niners coming into town Christmas Eve.
Yeah, that's not
New Year's Eve.
They'll win.
New Year's Eve.
They'll win.
Who will win? The Commanders?
49ers.
Oh,
No. Somehow the Commanders will manage to win the last game of the season against the Cowboys, fall out of the top 5 pick. And Ron will get to walk out of the building, at 500 or something.
Yeah, that'll be great because that'll put
if
you beat the Cowboys, that helps us. So I'm good with that. Please.
Yeah, I mean, listen, for fantasy reasons, everyone's still alive. I don't think anyone's going to be sitting players down the stretch here. I think it's all systems go across the board. Everyone's playing for that top seed. So we'll see what happens. Stevie, thank you for making time. Pete from Philly, always appreciate you coming in. I guess I'm not going to wish you good luck to the Eagles, but I do hope that they.
You can't. It's Eagles Dallas. You can't root for either team in that game.
I mean, I'm not. No, but like Stevie, I will watch in anticipation of good football. Right. What I don't want to see is I don't want to see like 6-3.
I stopped hating Dallas when they can't win anything.
Yeah, I just keep watching. Whenever I feel down, I watch the David Akers Dallas Goedert draft pick clip, which is on draft day where he goes into Dallas and he screams at them. And he's like, the last time the Cowboys were in the Super Bowl, these draft picks weren't even born yet. And they're like,
how they have bamboozled America into thinking that the Cowboys are America's team is that's a fascinating case study in marketing.
Yeah, what is it? The Sports Illustrated Super Bowl package was on VHS the last time the Cowboys won the Super Bowl. Right.
I mean, they're only like 6 years removed from Tony Romo. It's crazy to think how far that team is, but
96.
Anyway, thank you for hanging out with us. The show is DTC, available on all social media platforms at Defeating the Curse and anywhere you get your podcast at DTC or Defeating the Curse. Thank you for hanging out with us. For Pete from Philly, for Stevie, my name is Joe. Thanks again. We'll see you soon. We're out.